This is a 2007 Chevy Cobalt SS that I bought to build a DF Goblin kit car. Now, this car does look good on camera, but trust me, it wasn't. There were a lot of things wrong with it, and that's why I chose this car. I'll get more into that later. But basically, the first step of building a DF Goblin kit car is you need to disassemble the donor. So that's what we started off with doing. We took off any of the panels that were salvageable from the car and basically just worked on getting everything that we needed out of the car. That means we needed to take the bumpers off, the doors off, pretty much everything just to access everything else that we needed, like the engine, the steering rack, and the wiring harness. Now, I didn't actually need that much from the donor because I did end up deciding to upgrade most of it. The main thing that I needed was the wiring harness and the engine and the transmission. Next step was picking up the frame from DF. We went ahead and picked up the frame. This was a pretty easy process, and we started assembling the vehicle. Basically, what we had to do is run coolant tubes through the frame. That was a bit of a difficult process, not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Then we had to rivet the floor panels on. We had to take the donor steering rack, install that. That was the next step, and start running brake lines through the middle of the car. After that, we started to install a lot of the steering column. Again, this all came from the Chevy Cobalt. After that, we started to install the radiator and cooling system. That came with the kit itself. This was kind of a pain, but it actually wasn't too bad. Really, a lot of this process went by really fast because it was pretty much just taking the pieces and putting them into the car. There were some pieces that needed modification, like the gas cap filler and the actual key attachment for the car, but it wasn't anything that a simple hacksaw or cutoff wheel couldn't fix. After that, we installed the suspension. That was as easy as just installing 4 little bolts and the suspension was on. Next was one of the upgrades that I decided to do. Now, you can run the original shifter out of a Chevy Cobalt. I decided to get their upgraded short throw shifter that DF offers. This is an adjustable shifter, so I actually get to determine how far I want the throws to be, and it is a super clicky shifter, just improving the drivability overall. Next, we had to assemble the front spindles. We actually did this wrong at first, and I had to go back and do it later, but it wasn't anything too bad. This was one of the biggest problems with my donor, is I actually bought it with a kind of faulty transmission, and I didn't really realize it till later. Luckily, DF actually sold me a brand new F23 transmission, so I got a brand new transmission. So really the only thing that I ended up using from the original donor was the wiring harness, the engine, and some of the steering column and steering rack. Next, we had to install most of the wiring harness. I actually did end up reworking my wiring harness. One of them, I sent off the chassis harness to DF. They actually offer a service to rework the harness, and then I reworked the engine harness myself. Next step was to install the power unit. This was probably the most stressful part and definitely needed 2 people. My buddy Logan was here to kind of help me lift the frame up as we slid the engine in. You could probably do this a little easier if you had a lift, but I don't have a lift, so we had to do it all manually. So let's go ahead and see if the key on works. Look at that, dude. Engine power reduced, that's fine. Give me more codes. Brake fluid, yes, I know it's empty. Low cool. Good Lord, all right, yeah, I know. Engine power reduced. Okay, so that's a good sign. That's actually really good. Nothing caught on fire. After that initial key on, we found out that everything was actually running properly and it was all grounded well, or at least well enough to get a key on. So we went ahead, changed out the oil, coolant, and basically refilled the whole car up with fluids to go for that first start. Now, the first start is a huge milestone, so we want to make sure we got that right, so we switched out all of the fluids in the car. So we're back. We've done a bunch of work. We hooked up fuel lines, we hooked up vacuum lines, we ran coolant through it. I hooked up the heat exchanger in the front. We have done a bunch of stuff so that we were prepared for the first start. Now, I also put the headers back on temporarily so we can do a first start. Fingers crossed this works. God willing, this thing's gonna start and run, and that means we can continue on, put it all together, get it on its wheels, and start driving. So let's go ahead and attempt a first start. I'm really nervous, but I'm also really excited. Let's go. That's fine, that's
oh
fine.
My God,
Yes. So we think it might be a math issue. So we're putting on the donor intake and math, and we're gonna give that a shot and see what that does.
Ready?
Yep. Let's switch them.
Yep.
Good thing is that that made a different noise.
Yeah, worse noise.
it won!
After the first start, we went ahead and installed the shifter and shifter cables so that we could actually drive the car when it came time. We went ahead and lowered the car. This was kind of a surreal moment getting to see it on the ground for the first time. It was kind of crazy. Even though we couldn't drive it yet, we were still waiting on a thermostat. Seeing it on the ground was nuts. It is the next day, and as you can see, the Goblin is sitting pretty behind me. And we put the other headlight on, so now it looks all balanced out. It looks pretty good. And we have pretty much put every little thing on to do a test drive. A little concerned about it, but we've done everything right that we know of. So let's go ahead and get to it. Enough stalling, let's just do it. That was a little weird, but, ah. Holy shit. Oh my God! Holy shit! After driving this car for the first time, especially with no body panels, it was kind of an insane experience having a supercharged 4-cylinder sitting right behind your head, screaming at you as you hit the gas. Is undescribable, and it sounds like a T-Rex is chasing you, and it is so much fun. Not to mention, this car handles like no other car I've ever seen. Now, even though the car was drivable, there was still some stuff that we wanted to do. I wanted to add some body panel, at least a front body panel, because the wind in your face was just so insane. We went ahead and added the front body panel and windshield. Overall, the DF Goblin kit car took me a little over a year to build, and it cost me probably around $20,000 to $25,000. I haven't added it all up. I don't really know if I want to yet, but it is such a fun car. It is worth every penny, every hour spent building it, and I am absolutely in love with this car. If you're thinking about building one of these, I highly recommend at least calling DF and talking to them, or going down to their facility and checking it out if you're local to Dallas, because it will change your life. These cars are so much fun. They are so crazy, and I absolutely love mine. There's still more stuff that I want to do to mine in the future. It's just gonna take me a little time to do. I'm just gonna enjoy the car for a little bit as is, but there will be more videos with it here in the future, and I cannot wait to finally make more videos with the car. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like and a comment on what you guys want to see with the DF Goblin or any of the other cars in the future. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. We might try a vinyl wrap, but since neither of us know how to wrap, that might be a little difficult.